Welcome back, WrestleMania in the bag, all done. This is Grey Talks Wrestling, and let's chat about WrestleMania Night 2. I mean, big news is not a lot of people went home happy, a lot of people upset with the outcome at the end of the show, and I can understand why you might be upset. But I can also see it from the other side as well. I did believe that Cody was going to win the title like a lot of people did. We thought this was the story. This is where they were going. Roman's going to take some time off. He's done so good as a world champion. He's been one of the best of all time. He has been fantastic over the last 3 years as a champion. Carried the company. Him and his cousins have been fantastic. We saw the Usos drop the titles last night to Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens on night 1, and we assumed the same would be happening here. The story was there, it was set. Cody Rhodes, the family, all the story there with Dusty never been able to win the big one, and Cody wanting to do it for himself, his family, and we all assumed that would be the answer. He is the perfect guy to take the titles off of Roman. But I do understand it from the other side. Like, Cody's coming, he's been in for a year. He was out for a big portion of that year with an injury. And he hasn't really suffered yet. He hasn't, if I can say, if I will, he hasn't had any hard times, baby. Hasn't suffered hard times. And it's time for him to suffer those hard times now. Like, we have more sympathy now for Cody. We will all get behind him even more than we were before if he ever gets another chance at the world title against Roman Reigns. Yes, on the biggest stage of them all, it would have been an ideal moment, but this tells an even bigger story. The story's just it's another chapter, like they said. It continues. There is no end to this. It can still go. There are still legs to this with Cody wanting to get what was rightfully his. He was screwed out of it by Solo Sikoa in the last minute. And he deservedly deserves a rematch. We all know this. So he has a reason to go again and fight Roman again. Whether it's at Backlash, whether it's at Money in the Bank, whether it's at SummerSlam, Clash of the... I don't know. Wherever they meet. Next WrestleMania, who knows? Somewhere down the line, we will see Cody and Roman again, and it will be an even bigger match now because of this moment. The sympathy we will have with Cody now, the anger we feel when Roman won, the anger we felt when we realised, oh shit, Cody's losing this. Cody's lost. You saw it on Twitter. You saw it online. People were angry. And that's a good thing. That's the reaction you want. You want people to be angry. You want a reaction. Everyone thought it was going one way, and they swerved us and went the other. That is fantastic. That is great. That is what we want. We don't want to be right all the time. We want to be surprised. The best thing about professional wrestling is when we are surprised. But let's start off night 2 talking about each match as they came out. Let's start off with the first match of the night. We knew it would be. We knew he wouldn't be sticking around for very long. He doesn't get paid by the hour. He's in, he's out, he's done. He's going back home. Brock Lesnar was the first match of the night. What a surprise. And it was what it was. What were we expecting? A 5-star classic. Behave. Know their limits. Know what they can do. And what they did do worked. For the majority of the match, Omos beat the shit out of Brock Lesnar. Omos makes a mistake. Brock Lesnar capitalizes. Hits a couple of suplexes. Gets an F5. 1, 2, 3. Job done. What more could they have done? Really, what more can Brock Lesnar do with that jolly green giant? I mean, what more can he do? It was what it was. It delivered. My expectations were not very high for that one, and they met my expectations. The finish was the right one. There's no way Omos is beating Brock Lesnar. Behave. Next up, sponsored by Andrex. One sheet is plenty. Ronda Rousey, Shayna Baszler defeated Liv Morgan, Raquel Rodriguez, Natalya, Shotzi, Chelsea Green, and Sonya Deville in a WrestleMania Women's Fatal 4-Way Tag Team Showcase match. This was brutal. Absolutely brutal. I mean, I think right at the beginning, Shayna Baszler must have injured her ankle or her foot because she was running around with a boot on at the end, with one boot on, one boot off. But they didn't even feature in the whole bloody match, Rousey and Shayna. So I'm assuming Shayna got injured and they just let the others just carry on with the match. Raquel Rodriguez was the star in this. Stood out the most. The rest of it was sloppy and just a waste of time, basically. And a waste of time. What more is there to say? And then out of nowhere, Shayna Baszler comes in the ring. Nails, I think it's Shotzi. Ronda Rousey puts her armbar on one, and that's it, done. And it lasted 8 minutes. Match of the night for me had to be the IC title match. Stole the show, didn't it? We knew that Gunther, the Ring General, had to retain. You know, Sheamus and Drew McIntyre. Any bangers they're having is bangers and mashing catering now. They are done out here. Both of them. What are you going to do with them now? Yeah. As for Gunther, the Ring General, big things to come for him. He is going to the top and he's looking great. He's going to break the Honky Tonk Man's record. Longest reigning Intercontinental Champion. That's a fact. That's bound to happen. And it just elevates him even more. And whoever takes that title off of him elevates them more. There's so many people you could use to take the title off of him. There's a few names I could think of. Most notably the geezer who just lost the NXT title. Braun Breaker. That's one pick from me. There's a few other guys out there that could easily, legitimately use that. Like Gunther's made now. He's a made man. Like whoever beats him gets elevated. There's no point using Sheamus or Drew McIntyre. They are done out here. They've had their day in the sun. There's nothing more you can do with them. You can't elevate either of them any more than they've already been. Both of them have been world champions. What's the point now of making them Intercontinental Champion? That wasn't the point of the Intercontinental Championship. The point of the Intercontinental Championship is look at Gunther. Look at what he's done and what it's done for him. How it's elevated him. That's what you want the Intercontinental Championship to do to someone. And you find the next person. The next person for me is obvious, it's Braun Breaker. Anyway, fantastic. Banger of a match. Let's have it right. Best match of the night. By far. The European lads delivered. Stole the show. Bianca Belair versus Asuka. I just feel sorry for them having to follow the Intercontinental match. Was a decent match. Wasn't bad. You just knew Bianca was winning. And again, who's taking the title off of her? Who? My only thing they can do now is really have a unification match. What else is there to do? You got Rhea Ripley sitting there. Who's taking the title off of her? Legitimate. Who is taking the title off of her? And you got Bianca Belair on Raw. Who? Look at the rest of the roster. It's just them two at the moment. Like Raquel Rodriguez ain't quite ready yet, but she's getting there. It's worrying. Yeah, you got Charlotte, you got Becky, you got Bayley, but they've had their days in the sun. Asuka, they've had their day, man. Who is left? Apart from them facing each other. Look at what it's done for Roman Reigns being the undisputed champion and the Usos being undisputed tag team champions. Why not have an undisputed women's champion? It would make more sense than what they're doing. It would. Maybe have a mid-card women's title. Snoop Dogg defeated The Miz. Can you believe that? How did that come about, you may ask? Reading like the results online. Snoop Dogg defeated The Miz. What went down there? I'll tell you what went down there. Miz, Snoop Dogg in the ring, and you felt someone's coming out. There's maybe a surprise. Someone's coming back. Who could it be? People were saying Jay White. Behave. It was Shane McMahon. Here comes the money. Here comes the money. Shane O'Mac himself dancing himself down to the ring. And yeah, this didn't go to plan, did it? Like, he did his dad proud though, but his dad was able to tear 2 quads. I don't know what Shane did to his knee, but Jesus. Looked nasty. Went for a leapfrog, landed wrong and just tore. But you got to say, Snoop Dogg kind of did save the segment a little bit. Improvised well. Got in the ring. Got on the mic. It worked, I suppose. Knocked out the Miz. Probably throws a better punch than Logan Paul. Only thing he doesn't do well is drop a people's elbow. That was grim. But anyway, the Miz, man. What do you do with the Miz now? Like, beyond embarrassment now for him. That is beyond embarrassment. What do you do? How can you take him seriously? He is a comedy act at best. Next up was Hell in a Cell. And I like that they brought the old cell back. It wasn't the red cell. I felt that added to it. I liked the entrances. I thought they were phenomenal. One thing I wasn't too keen on was the purple and red kendo sticks and the purple and red steel chairs and the purple table. What was that about? That was slightly strange. It was like, yeah, let's match up the chairs and the kendo sticks to Finn's paint. That was weird. That took me out of it a little bit. And I was like, why have they done that? How much did they have to pay to find purple and red steel chairs and kendo sticks? Why did they need that? That was strange. But the match itself was phenomenal. Delivered. Finn Balor took one hell of a shot to the head with a ladder. And they had to stop the match, which takes you out of it again. I mean, people will say, well, why didn't they do that when Mick Foley had a tooth sticking out of his nose? I get they did stop the match for a little bit in that, but he was thrown off the bloody cell and thrown through it. Finn Balor had a ladder chucked at his head. Yeah, he was pissing blood, and in these days we've got to be careful. But it did take me out of it a little bit. But overall, it was a decent Hell in a Cell match. The right person won, and I'm just hoping to God we are done with this Edge and Judgment Day feud. It's been long. Let's move from this. I wouldn't mind seeing Judgment Day. Now Rhea Ripley's the SmackDown Women's Champion. I'm assuming they're switching over to SmackDown. Got something there with maybe Bray Wyatt if he's about. Yes, that's an option. Finn Balor and Bray Wyatt. It's an option. Not saying a good one, but it's an option. Anyway, yeah, good match. Enjoyable. Right person won. And let's move on from this. Because I'm done with seeing Finn and Edge and all of that Judgment Day bullshit with Edge. Yeah, I like the Judgment Day. I like Dominic. I like Finn. I like Damien. I like Rhea. Very talented foursome. But they need to be doing other things now. They need to move on from Edge. And Edge needs to move on from them, really. Roman Reigns versus Cody Rhodes. The Undisputed Heavyweight Championship. The main event. Good match. Really enjoyed it. You didn't know which way it was going until the 1, 2, 3. I thought Cody was winning. We all thought Cody was winning. That we thought it was written in the stars. 1,000,000 miles away. Written to a man. I mean... And it didn't happen. Roman Reigns is still the champion. I'm happy with that. I'm a big fan of Roman Reigns. He's the one I thought... He's my tribal chief. And I'm sorry that I doubted him. I acknowledge him. He is the best. He is up there on another level. That's not a gimmick. It's fact. And let's be honest. Did we really think Cody Rhodes was winning the title? If you think about it. If we were smart and we thought about it for a minute. Like, this is Cody Rhodes. This is the geezer who left WWE and went and formed and started his own company. I mean, let's go even further back. It's the Rhodes. Really, is Vince McMahon and Triple H going to let a Rhodes win a world title? Look how many times they've bantered and ribbed Dusty over the years. Yeah, they acknowledge him now. Yeah, he's great, but Virgil, the bodyguard, do you remember that? The polka dots. Gold dust at first. Really, that was a rib. Dustin was just talented enough to get it over. There were so many times. And did we really think, that they were going to let a Rhodes defeat the man that has carried this company for the last 3 years on his back, on his own? The man that is reaching nearly 1,000 days as a world champion. Really? God, I was dumb. I was delusional. We all were. Let's be honest. But it might happen one day. You never know. They might give it to Cody one day. Anyway, but it was a great match. Cody was fantastic. He was a good match. And it hits you in the feels. It makes you angry that you didn't win. And that's what you want. You want to feel it. You want to feel it. And we did. Those of us that thought Cody would win, wanted Cody to win, were angry. That's what you want. You want that passion back in professional wrestling. We want to see Cody do it. It's going to mean even more now if he does do it. Finally, whoever takes that title off of Roman, whoever it is, it's going to mean something. Anyway, let me know what you thought about WrestleMania down below. Thank you very much if you've watched all the way through. Smash a like button, smash subscribe. This isn't farewell, just bonjour.